So today I'm going to be talking about the psychedelia subculture or the psychedelic subculture. So by a show of hands, how many of you have heard about the psychedelic subculture before? Okay, so a few of you. So basically, recent studies from the Ashwood Rehab Center have shown that more younger kids ranging from middle school to high school are using more psychedelic drugs, which from before in the 1960s when it was brought upon us, they were more older, young adults using them, not as young kids as they're all now. It's about 6.7% of young children are using psychedelic or hallucinogenic drugs, which obviously is not good at that young age. And then some stories that I looked up were how this culture, just to test how the drugs would work on each individual, they'd make them take a drug like LSD or something like that and put them in a room with only white walls and then have them look obviously around, and with the drug you will see different things and different individuals. They saw different pictures, colors, sayings, or meanings on the wall, which all the meanings will be interpreted differently because no one has the same expectation or outcome of the drug, just depends on how you interpret and what you see. So today I'm going to be talking about some background information, the artwork perspective, and the music perspective of this group. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the history. Just for explaining these pictures, that's more the older generation psychedelic culture outlook. It was more just outdated, I guess, with less colors and less designs. And as you can see, today's generation, there's more different things to interpret, because I feel like they're more, you could say more trippy pictures, and they just get more into it nowadays. So Victor Morosco stated that throughout the culture, it wasn't only about obviously taking the drug or the lifestyle of the people. They mostly connected their culture and saw it out through music and different kind of artworks. So this culture is basically a group of people that come together that do take psychedelic drugs or hallucinogenic drugs to obviously see things in different perspectives that you wouldn't see when you were not on the drug, and also just any thing that's happened, any sayings or anything, they'll interpret differently than they would being sober. So that's some history and background. So now after talking about the background, I'm going to talk about the psychedelic artwork. So Annika D stated that throughout LSD, most of these artists use the psychedelic or hallucinogenic drug to get their inspiration to paint or do their drawings that they wouldn't do sober, because obviously if you're on the drug, you're going to interpret things differently. So the last diagram is showing the psychedelic effect of colors. So basically with these paintings, they're going to use more saturated colors to make them more pop out to the viewing eye. So it used more colors like purple and green, blue, red, all to come together to contrast and make it pop out. And then, so first I'm going to talk about this picture. It's going to be Andrew Jones. He's actually a digital imagery, so he makes all of his images online on the computer. He was very famous more in the 1960s, 1966, when this culture was more about. So basically his artwork was more in music festivals, album covers, also in fashion, but mostly they'd be up in festivals. So that was a more of the older generation culture. And then Callie Fink, that's her painting, called Cerebral Dysfunction, and she's more of our generation. She's 23, she actually lives here in Orange County. So that's her painting. She actually does it hands-on painting and drawing. She doesn't do it online like Andrew Jones. So Callie Fink, she said that she likes to obviously use the drugs as a inspiration, and she likes to make these paintings so everyone can have a different meaning. Not everyone would, normal paintings, you'd see it and know the meaning of it by just looking at it. She wants everyone to interpret them differently and obviously have their own mindset and saying about what they're seeing. So basically all the colors and different paintings of what they draw is from the drug, which is what their inspiration is to what they're painting. So after talking about the artwork, I'm going to talk about the psychedelic music. So these pictures are just some album covers from the older generation cultures. As you can see, obviously just like the artwork, they're very colorful, because obviously on the drugs, you don't want to see normal things. So connecting that to a person on LSD listening to the music, they tell them the psychedelic music, you're going to want to show them a newer version of the music, not an old song that they're used to hearing or they hear all the time. So they do get that new interpretation of the song, not something they've always known about. So the 13th floor elevators and the doors are very well known psychedelic music artist, and Michael Hicks stated that the psychedelic music also rooted from, surprisingly, folk music and electronic music, because you can bring the electronic music and connect it to psychedelic music because of all the instrument sounds and the loud sounds that are in the music. So in review, I talked about the background, the music, and the art aspect of the psychedelic culture, and if you want to learn more about them, I didn't really find many documentaries, but you can go to www.psychedelicculture.com, and they have a lot of interviews interviewing people and a lot of extra information on there.